In the website Newsweek, it states plant and animal species are now going extinct at least 1,000 times faster than they did prior to humanity's arrival. According to the site, we are heading to another extinction due to how fast the species are going extinct. It's alarming because at the rate it's going, especially after how we humans came to the Earth. The factors that play into the extinction are currently basically kind of our fault, the humans. The factors are climate change, diseases, human population, pollution, and the destruction of habitat. We as humans contribute to most of the factors because we use these things in our daily lives. My first one is pollution. Pollution is one of the factors that affects edibles, but also humans. Being exposed to air pollution for a very long time can lead to lung cancer and chronic respiratory disease. Pollution is caused by industries, rivers that contain nutrients from farms. Diseases, which is another one, is very dangerous because they can lead to they can wipe out a whole species. Since we do not have cures for all the diseases, this is why they're a big factor. For example, in 1918, the flu killed millions of people. Also, the destruction of habitat can lead to extinction because by us cutting trees every day, we are limiting oxygen, and without trees or oxygen, we can't survive. According to the website Earth in Transition, overpopulation and overconsumption are the root causes of the environmental destruction of our planet. Habitat loss affected the birds, 86% of them, and 88% of mammals. We as humans are the main cause of extinction due to littering, polluting, and destroying wildlife habitat, and using the scarce resources we have on Earth. And the last factor is climate change. Climate change is the biggest factor, just due to that each year it's getting warmer in Earth, and which can lead to the extinction. Sorry about that. It's said that the average degree that a human body can survive is 113 degrees Fahrenheit, and over the years we've I believe the average has been 100 and higher each year as each year passes.
Okay. So looking at every problem in the world with the fear of extinction is not only ridiculous, but it also doesn't make sense. It introduces an inaccurate fear to people's minds and makes things seem so much worse than they already are. This society is so concerned with the idea of extinction that we forget about the things that are actually important. There are theories that say that humans have started a mass extinction similar to what happened with the dinosaurs 66 million years ago. According to Nature magazine, the other extinctions happened in a short amount of time and eliminated more than 70% of all species, and that if an extinction did happen, it wouldn't be now, but in a couple centuries, and that we wouldn't have to worry about it. The fact that there are so many debates on this subject shows how little we really know about the argument and the rate of extinction that we are currently facing. Estimates on aeon.com vary from 0.01% to 1% of species being lost per decade. The International Union for Conservation of Nature, which is where the list of endangered species is kept, had a recent study come out that says, quote, 1.5 million identified species and 76,199 studied by IUCN scientists. Some 23,000 are deemed threatened with extinction, end quote. So it's possible that if all those species died off and with the high rate of extinction that they died stayed the same, then we might be at the start of an extinction. John C. Briggs in Science magazine said, quote, most extinctions have occurred on oceanic islands or in restricted freshwater locations, with very few occurring on Earth's continents or in the oceans. The world's greatest conservation problem is not in species extinctions, but rather the precarious state of thousands of populations that are the remnants of once widespread and productive species, end quote. This basically means that the extinctions that have occurred have been on islands because they are so remote and restricted, and that a lot of what we do know about these ecological systems come from them. So it's understandable that scientists would get worried when they see the comparison of our ecosystems to those of the islands, but it's not something to be worried about because our continents are giant.
So basically that you said that we have to worry about more important things that are happening on Earth. But how could we not worry about like climate change, since it affects crop? According to CNN, it said that climate change speed occurred in the 1970s when we started burning fossil fuel. Also, like I said, it affects the crops because as each year gets warmer and warmer, crops cannot, I believe that the average is 35 to 40 degrees where they are supposed to maintain. With climate change, sometimes if for example here in Kansas, when it starts snowing, it affects crops when because it burns the crops, which affects the farmers because of all the money they put into the crops, and also it affects the companies and us who purchase these crops.
So you said that that there have been a lot of deaths because of things like the flu, but those are diseases that are transferred through humans and not through plants or animals. Also, since we still don't know, since we just saw that we still don't know what happened with the dinosaurs and how they went extinct, how do we know that this is evidence to what is happening now, and that we really can't prove anything until it actually happens afterwards, and that it's true that there are many problems that need to be solved in the world, but facing an extinction is not one of them. To keep over-dramatizing our situation just creates unnecessary panic that aids in the already fragile state of our country. Nature is healthy, and we don't need to worry about it right now. And that's all I have.
Diseases are also sometimes spread through species such as mosquitoes with the blood. Also, with the climate change, people are not, with the climate change, they are more immune to diseases.
Okay. Cool. I think we're done.
All right.